Wow, what an interesting trading session here for AMC and the market as a whole, because right at the open, everything went bananas, and right before the closing bell, everything just dropped suddenly all across the board, especially when it comes to the tech sector represented by the Nasdaq benchmark. So AMC continues to have a strong price movement considering everything else which is happening in the market as a whole. So I think this is definitely a confirmation on the bullish strength. It is still on since the last couple of weeks. But I want to share with you in this video something that the SEC Chair is suggesting when it comes to how short selling works and how lending and borrowing as a practice in the market may be totally revamped. And we all know that these two practices definitely go hand in hand with what is happening here with AMC stock. So let's start first with what Jerome Powell as the new chair will mean for the market, because I think this is just an overreaction based on the fact that nothing changed. I mean, the fact that we have Jerome Powell confirmed means the market already knew its agenda. All right, we already knew that it's going to change and do what is necessary to make sure we have unemployment rates as low as possible. Plus, we do have the interest rates hiking possibly in next year, 2022. So this is supposed to be a good thing because it maintains what the market already priced in, discounted in, so far this year. All right. Now, when it comes to AMC, when you look at where AMC is standing today, I mean, the market gained barely flat, and AMC was close to 1% in the green. So it didn't sell off as you will expect it when everything, including the Russell 2000, just dropped after trusting new all-time highs again. Now, not Jerome Powell, but Gary Gensler, SEC Chair, it's now suggesting to change how transparency and reporting works when it comes to short selling and shares lending, what we call borrowing and lending. They now want to introduce a new rule that will make short selling even more transparent. This rule requires lenders to report transactions within 15 minutes to a governing body like the FINRA. And short selling came under scrutiny earlier this year. We all know what happened earlier. But what is really interesting here is that Gary Gensler is still on track. He's still on track with his agenda to make sure that we have more transparency, especially when it comes to this whole securities lending market. Remember, in order to short sell a stock, all right, you need to borrow the shares, and people who are borrowing shares to whoever wants to short sell that stock, or people who are holding the stock. That's how the whole borrowing and lending market works. Now, when short sellers actually are shorting a stock, they don't have the obligation to report that to whether the SEC or the DTCC or even the FINRA. So Gary Gensler wants to change that because it will force them, first of all, to be more transparent. And by being more transparent, it will actually also prevent or discourage people from doing naked shorting. Because if you don't have the obligation to report whatever short positions you have, it's going to be way more easier for you to do naked shorting because you are not reporting everything. You pretty much have the ability and the flexibility to do whatever you want under the table. So that is going to change and put some more light into those practices, which I believe it's the whole taboo thing here when it comes to AMC. This proposal will bring securities lending out of the dark, all right, which I just mentioned earlier, and the public has 30 days to comment on the proposal. So it is not in effect yet. It's still at the stage of being a suggestion, a proposal. But I believe this is one of those things where, when you look at the other regulations that were pushed so far this year, they didn't do much. It is true. All right. But at least this has the merit and the benefit to prove and to confirm that Mr. Gary Gensler, according to my personal opinion, and feel free to disagree or agree with this, that he's still on track to make sure he can do whatever it's in his favor. All right. To provide as much transparency as possible in the stock market as we know it today. It's not going to be something that will take overnight to correct or to fix, right? Because you're going against a system. You're changing an entire system which is based on technology. So it wouldn't be an easy task to change the whole thing. So personally, I'm not holding my breath on this, but at least it shows that, hey, things are moving in our favor. All right. So let's see how this moves in the next couple of days. But as far as AMC on the price action, and I mentioned this yesterday in my videos, the market